Hello everyone, how are you doing? It's Amanda. Today is the 22nd of July 2020 and that is why I am doing a little video today for you because I wanted to mark, excuse me, two events that are happening today and two energies, both of which are pretty central to my work and indeed some of the energy that I channel over the weeks and the months and the years that some of you may well watch me. And you probably know what they are, but in case you don't, today is the feast of Mary Magdalene. I'm wearing what I call my Mary Magdalene dress because those of you that came to a Mary Magdalene Day I did in Glastonbury a couple of years ago, I wore this dress and I don't know, every time I put it on now, I just think of Mary. So yeah, Mary Magdalene Day, we're going to mark that. And I don't know, I've got a few colour sprays to show you linked into Mary and also going to pull some cards. And it's also Dr. Masaru Emotos Birthday today, July the 22nd, who, yeah, I know I've told you before, but I had the privilege of meeting and interviewing about a year before he died. And it was a really powerful, energetic link that I think I established with him, although I didn't realise it at the time, because I very much feel that he's one of my guides as well. So Dr. Emoto and Mary Magdalene, and indeed anybody else whose birthday it is today or who are commemorating anything, maybe it's a wedding anniversary, whatever. Let's light a candle. This is my freebie candle, actually, that I got from the hairdresser. Not bad, hey? So let's light this. I like the purity of it, the purity of that white ray. I also want to put a little bit of incense on, and we'll get going. Hope you're doing okay. We had a bit of fun and laughter yesterday on this channel. And yes, I did try and keep my sense of humour through the day. In adversity, it has to be said, you know, I made my promise that I went to the supermarket and I was trying to go in a very light-hearted manner. But I did get, I actually got chased down the car park by somebody who objected to the way that I parked my car. I was a couple of centimetres over the line and admittedly, I was a couple of centimetres over the line, but it was so marginal. But the car park was empty and this woman insisted on parking right beside me. And then when I tried to get out of the door and couldn't, I tapped on my window to show her and she made a big show of having to go and repark the car, you know. And I forgot all about it. And I was walking up to the shop and then she just started running after me, shouting at me. And it was in that moment, you see, these are the moments where it matters. These are the moments where it matters. I could see she was bright red in the face, full of anger, wanting to take it out on somebody. And I thought, I don't accept your energy. Thank you very much. That's your stuff. So I just let it go. I totally let it go. And I'll tell you what, it was quite interesting because what then happened, this is where spirit and the angels help you. I've done two stories on this and it's another story. So we went into the supermarket. She was ahead of me and I kept thinking, oh God, I'm going to bump into this woman again, you know, in the bread aisle or whatever. The moment that I did, or I would have bumped into her, she was sort of facing me, waiting to queue for the checkout and I was coming round the aisle. And at that moment, a security guard just happened to be walking by both of us. And he made this big joke about something. I don't know what it was even about, wasn't really listening. And it totally broke the ice because I could see she was worried about having to meet me again because by that time her anger had calmed down and she was actually just embarrassed about her former behaviour. But anyway, this guy came in and he just diffused the whole thing. I'm sure he had no idea what was even happening, but it was at that moment that he just came down into the shop cracking this joke. And that was it. So I just whished into my aisle and all was good. So isn't it interesting when you just hold the light, as I keep saying, and just try to breathe in adversity. I'm sure Robin Williams thought it was quite funny, the whole thing, you know. But anyway, yeah, let's get back to today's energy. So today's energy feels very soft, very mellow. And I have just to tell you before I forget, because I know my mind goes all over the place. So today is Dr. Masaru Emotos' birthday. We're going to start with him actually. And what has just been delivered into my house? A new washing machine. My old one went kaput, completely kaput, about a week ago. So I've been having to take my washing to other people's houses to do. And yeah, brand new washing machine to wash the clothes with water on Dr. Emoto's birthday. That wasn't planned, and I just think that's brilliant. I think he's having a bit of a chuckle up there about that. So he's saying, bless the washing machine, in all seriousness. Bless the washing machine, bless the taps, you know, bless these receptacles that actually hold water, whether it is to wash your clothes, wash your dishes, or whether it's the tap which your water comes out of. It's interesting, isn't it? I've never really thought about that before, but he's absolutely right. It's not just about the actual water that we drink, it's about the receptacle. You see, these bottles that I drink out of these days, they're made of glass. All of my bottles that I sell are made of glass, because glass is a better carrier, really, than a lot of other things, particularly plastic that's got a lot of the toxins in, which can leach, particularly if you're a woman. You know, never leave a water bottle in a car when it's hot, because it will start to leach into the water, and then you drink it, affects your hormones. So it's much better to drink out of glass, or to drink out of plastic that's had all of the, is it PPA? It's had it taken out of it. I mean, there is plastic that you can drink out of, which is better, but I always try and choose glass. And of course, the other thing with plastic, of course, is unless it's totally recyclable, it's going to end up in the oceans. So, you know, Dr. Emoto is quite hot on that. At least glass can be recycled and made again into something else. So anyway, yeah, so I'm looking forward to playing with my new washing machine. A bit sad, but you know, it is the truth. Let's pull some cards from my Dr. Emoto deck. Okay, it's got the incense going there. That's lovely. Let's just have a bit of water. Whenever I've written about Dr. Emoto before, for workshops or anything, he tells me off. He tells me, well, he's such a sweet, gentle soul. He doesn't ever really tell you off. You just get a bit of a sort of like a disapproving, he goes quiet. And it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I don't need that third mug of caffeine, do I? I need to be drinking the water. So water with Dr. Emoto. Okay, happy birthday, and just wanting to, for a moment, for us to thank him for his service to the world, what he did when he was alive. He was such a trooper. He travelled all over the world. And yes, I've said it before, but on his birthday, I'll say it again. You know, the talk that he gave in Bournemouth, which I attended, it was packed. My friend took photographs, and there were all these enormous orbs all over the room, because that was his presence. He'd just heightened the vibration in the whole room to such an extent that there were just orbs everywhere. He held the audience spellbound. He knew he was a master of his craft, and we were so lucky to have had his presence here on earth. It strikes me today as well that Dr. Emoto, who's all about water, sharing the same, or his birthday and Mary Magdalene's day is also the same day, the 22nd. For me, Mary Magdalene, I mean, she's about lots of things. She is about water. I always connect to Mary Magdalene or see her standing in front of water, particularly. She shows me an image of beside the Sea of Galilee. But to me, she's also linked into blood. And I've talked about this before, you know, menstrual blood, regulation of the cycle, the feminine cycle, the womb. You put blood and water together, and it's sort of what we're made of, you know, apart from our skeleton and our flesh. We are blood and water, and it's the essence of life, these two things. And so we've got these two master guides, because they are master guides, Dr. Emoto as well, who link to these elements of blood and water. Okay, let's see. Let's just pull a card from his water crystal oracle. I don't know whether he actually produced it officially, but I've shown this to you before. I found it in a shop. I think you can find them, but the idea is you put them underneath your water and they take on the qualities, the water takes on the qualities of that, and it helps to heal. Let's see what wants to come up on your birthday, Dr. Emoto. What is the thing that we need to be looking at this time? The brain. Look at that word, kindness. Talked about kindness to somebody the other day. Kindness is a really underrated virtue. Really underrated virtue, isn't it? So he's put kindness with helping to heal the chemistry, I'm hearing, of the brain. The way that our brain is wired, he's saying. He is showing me and reminding me of the fact, it is a scientific fact, that the way that a child is treated in the first 3 years of its life, tends to map out a lot of the responses. It's as though the neural pathways which are growing around the brain are formed in the formative years. And so if a child is shown kindness and love, for example, it sets up a pattern. There is at least a pathway for that child as it grows into adulthood to follow. It's literally like a response is there which says, this is what kindness feels like. This is what love feels like. So for a child that is completely and utterly starved of kindness and love, it's really, really damaging, because the pathways are not as effectively built. However, in spiritual terms, there is no such thing as a hopeless case. There is no such thing as somebody who, just because they haven't been shown love and kindness as a very small child, cannot develop that quality. And indeed, often it is a reaction to have never been shown love that you can choose a path which is absolutely all about love. But it's like anything. It's just, it becomes a learned response rather than something that is more there by nature. That makes sense? That's what he's saying to me. He's saying, as a species, this is interesting, take it away from childhood, your childhood, my childhood, now take it down, now look at it in terms of the collective consciousness. He's saying in terms of the brain, he's showing me a master brain. It's almost like there's a master brain in the same way that there is a master heart, which is linked into the whole of humanity. There was a science fiction program from the, I don't know, whatever era it was, when I was growing up. It probably was Star Trek or something like that. And I'm just seeing it. It's almost like this pulsing brain, which is connected to everybody else's brain in our universe, in the same way that there is just this, there's a one heart. It's energetic, of course, in the same way the brain is energetic, but that one heart connects into everybody else's hearts. We're all part of that one heart. We're all part of that one brain. And what Dr. Emoto is saying is that the universal brain needs to be reprogrammed at this time to grow and evolve into greater levels of kindness. Kindness is missing in the world, and it's part of the reason why we're struggling so much as a species, that many people can't be kind. They can't show kindness. So that's a quality that he really wants us to be concentrating on today, kindness. He was a very, very kind man. I mean, I only met him, face to face, one-on-one with my friend Clara for I don't know, maybe it was an hour we sat with him, maybe less than that. But the thing I was struck with, and anybody who met him would say the same thing, was he had an energy of softness and kindness. There was. It's very hard to articulate, well, what does that look like? It just looks like something. When it's there, it's there. In the same way that when hatred is there, you can see it on somebody's face, you can see it in their physiology, you can see it in their stance, you know. It's the same thing with kindness. Kindness is a quality that is so needed at this time. Okay. Right, let's have one more. Rewiring the brain. So it's almost as though whatever we've learnt from our parents or whatever we've learnt from society in terms of this is how you do kindness, we are being asked to realise that there is another level. There's another level of sensitivity, there's another level of empathy, there's another level of kindness, which we can reach as a species. If you think about the fact we're going from third dimension to fifth dimension to seventh dimension and above, well, of course, that means that the qualities within these different dimensions, there are different levels of kindness, there are different levels of love, there are different levels of non-judgment. I think we've been very it's the way our brain has been wired, which is just when I go from 3D to 5D, I suddenly don't have non-judgment. I suddenly don't do different things. Now, although that to a degree that is true, what I'm being shown is I'm hearing graduation. It's like a series of steps where you graduate, and there is finesse in each one of those additional steps, okay? So there are different layers and there are different levels to non-judgment. There are different layers and levels to kindness. There are different layers and levels to softness. He's saying softness is a good example. I can soften my voice now so that you can hear me, but I could also soften it much more. I can soften it and soften it and soften it. In fact, I can soften it to such a way that it almost becomes homeopathic, so that I am saying something to you, but actually you stop listening with your ears and you start listening with your heart to what I'm actually saying. You start to look at my lips, you start to look at my energy field, and you are able to understand what I'm conveying in a different way that isn't just about speech. Until we hush, until we hush, until we hush. Oh, you feel that? Let's bring Mary Magdalene in now. I've got Mother Mary here, of course, as well. I want Mary Magdalene, as it's her day. The soft presence of the feminine, the loving presence of the feminine, the heart of the feminine, the healing power of the feminine, the mystery of the feminine, the sacredness of the feminine, the holiness of the feminine, the need for the feminine, the nurture of the feminine, the power of the feminine, the truth of the feminine, the arrival of the feminine, the arrival of the feminine, the arrival of the feminine. Let's pull a card from the Mary Magdalene deck. The feminine lives within you, whether you are male or female. The feminine is within all of us. The resurrection. This card came up when I was doing the new moon in Cancer video. And we brought through the energy of Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. It's the energy of the resurrection. On the bottom of the deck, we've got the beloved. They're powerful colours, aren't they? Purple and yellow, violet and gold. Paler interpretation, but the colours are in this version of our bottle with the Vesica Pisces, which I'm also wearing today, the merging of the two to create the third. It's not, it's too much light coming in for you to see it adequately. The beloved, that's not a card that I often pull from this deck. I don't think I ever have. So let us see what this card means. Let's go to the official words. The beloved. Love is the gateway to an endless universe, where the light of 1 billion stars forever glows through one eternal spirit. Your heart is open and full of love, and because of this, magical blessings are drawn to you. If you are single, a loving relationship will soon be formed, which will transform your life. If you are already in a relationship, then your relationship can deepen and also be transformed. Love is a timeless state through which all is spiritually interconnected. You will soon feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude for life through your relationship with your beloved. Well, I'm not particularly into fortune telling, so I don't know whether I resonate with the fact that if you're single, Mr. Right or Mrs. Right is about to knock on your door. I think what this is more about is how I'm wanting to interpret this, with no offence to whoever wrote that. What I'm feeling from Mary today, because messages can evolve and change, is that she wants you to think about who is your beloved, but equally wanting to place yourself into that circle as well, that you are beloved, okay, that you should be loving yourself. And so it's a dual message, basically. It's linked into love for yourself and honouring who you are, truly loving who you are, truly respecting who you are, but equally looking at who you prize, not in a possessive way, not in an egotistical way, but just in a way where you tune into your heart and you know who is in there. You know who is in there, and you know who holds your heart, basically. And whoever that is, I'm hearing, a prized jewel and should be taken care of and polished. You know, by that, what she means is to truly love somebody is to try to bring out the best of them, like you polish a diamond, okay? to try to bring out the best of somebody. So it's a very, very lovely energy today from Mary Magdalene. I do just want to show you two different colours linked to her. The spray that we make of Mary Magdalene has had many different interpretations over the years. I've had different paintings on them from two different artists, and at the moment, but they're about to change probably again at some point, we've got the Vesica Pisces, okay? But I just want to show you these two different interpretations of the colours because I think they're both rather lovely. If I put them up like that, can you sort of see? So we've got the yellow and pink, and we've got this one, which is almost like it's like a cerise fuchsia pink and a grassy emerald green. I think they're both very lovely, actually. I like the way I'm doing this to them. I don't know why I'm doing that. It almost feels like these are two women that are looking at each other. Okay, women aren't very good at that, are they? Why are we not very good at that? Why are we not very good as women? This is like a sisterhood thing that's coming through from Mary in terms of being able to look at each other and see each other's beauty and see each other's potential and gifts, rather than within the sisterhood there being this competitiveness, you know, and jealousy and envy, which absolutely can be there, unfortunately. So we need to lift that up today, really, to bring in the same way that Dr. Emoto was talking about upgrading the central brain, is what he's talking about, to be able to emote better. Interesting that his name was Emoto. I'm now hearing the word emote, you know, to emote, to be able to feel to a higher level. That's what he was trying to teach us, to feel to a higher level. And remember, the brain also is linked into the heart. You know, it's like they're not divorced from each other. They both work together. So the heart, of course, is upgrading, and that's what Mary's bringing through here, Mary Magdalene. But Dr. Emoto today is definitely, you know, more linking into the mind and the brain. I mean, he was a scientist as well. So how perfectly do they work together? I think they work beautifully together. Want to pull another Dr. Emoto card at this point. Okay, Dr. Emoto. One more message then, please. And then we've got a two. Well, I should have 4 in that case now. I'm just going to have two cards from each deck today. So I've got 2 from the Mary Magdalene deck, the Resurrection and the Beloved. I want this one. I don't even know what that is. Before I even look at what it is, can you see the smiley face on that? It's literally like the sun with a smiley face. Now remember, these are actual photographs of crystals that he's grown out of frozen water. Okay, so it's been photographed like that. That's actually a real thing. You know, and I almost feel like sometimes we have to say that these days because there's so many digitally enhanced photographs or digital art. And there's nothing wrong with that. Brilliant as a medium. But this is actually, you know, he was a scientist. So it's almost like he's wanting me to say, these are actual things. So I wonder, I've no idea. I can't see what's on the back of the card because my hand's covering it. I don't know what it is either. Should we just have a little guess? What do we think? What do we think this is? I mean, I'm just seeing a smiley face, but I'm also rather struck by the brilliance of the colour there because all of the other cards in his deck, they're pretty much black and white. Black and white, black and white, black and white. This one is a bright, well, actually, look at that. Oh, I've just seen what it says on the back. You're going to love it, guys. Oh my God, this is just tingling stuff here. I just can't believe this. The Resurrection. Do you want to know what this is? Thank you. Thank you. It's the energy of gratitude. Thank you. Well, it's actually the words thank you, but thank you is about gratitude. Look at how beautiful gratitude and thank you is. When you say thank you and you truly mean it, you truly mean it. And what he's saying to me is you need to also be able to say thank you to events that have been difficult, to the people that have pushed you out of your comfort zone. Interestingly, when I was talking about love and, you know, the beloved, they should be polishing you. That can also be a soulmate. who triggers the hell out of you, you know, because trigger is not quite the right word, but a soulmate is there to help you grow. And sometimes it can be really difficult because they'll take you into places where it's like, you know, you've got to look at aspects of yourself or them to evolve it, okay, to a higher emotion. So, you know, Dr. Emoto is saying we have to be able to say thank you to all of the experiences that we have in a human body. And again, I know some people can't go there. It's like, you're asking me to say thank you to that. Well, at some level, yes, that's exactly what these two are saying, because you chose to be down here in a human body and to come to Earth. That was a choice. Believe it or not, whatever has happened in your life, wherever you are now, your soul, your higher self chose to be here, okay? And your higher soul and your soul basically is a powerful, magnificent being of light that recognizes that every experience in this life, good or bad, there is actually an opportunity to say thank you, because it's about evolving, it's about growing, it's about learning. How do you learn anything unless you're tested? Unless literally you can, it's like what Christ said, it's like, it's almost like a case of turning the other cheek, okay? And again, straight away, you know, as soon as you say things like that, people go to the most extreme cases in our world, okay? So you're asking me to say thank you for this. Can we just start? What I always say to people is, can we just start with the small stuff and then work up to the big stuff, okay? Because everybody struggles with the big stuff. It's the small stuff. And the more that you can master the small stuff, the bigger stuff then starts to get easier to also say thank you to. So my example earlier on in this video, which actually is related to this content, you know, the car park incident where I had the big red, you know, woman in my face, you know, frothing at the mouth a bit. I knew she was being ridiculous, but I'm a human being. There was an aspect of me, I wanted to give back as good as she was giving me, but I didn't want myself to go there. I didn't allow myself to go there. I walked away, and I did actually have an internal smile on my inside. I wasn't going to put a smile on my face at that moment. I might have been decked, you know, but in all seriousness, in that small moment, I was able to see there's an opportunity here for me to take the higher path, basically, and walk away and hold my light, okay? And there's also something here for her in all of this, because when I saw her 20 minutes later in the supermarket, she was embarrassed. She couldn't look me in the eye. She knew she'd done wrong. Now, whether she learnt anything from that whole episode and next time won't behave like that, who knows? You know, we have free will. It's up to us how we respond to any situation. So start with the small stuff in terms of being able to say, well, okay, really uncomfortable. I didn't like that experience, but thank you. It's taught me something. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm hearing that song by Alanis Morrisette. It's a stunning song from Jagged Little Pill. Thank you. Watch that. It says everything. Okay. Right. Let's just end with a final card. I'm going to go to Dr. Emoto again. I have got a bit of a soft spot for Dr. Emoto, I have to say. Right. He feels like a soul brother. He really does. I mean, my birthday's tomorrow, so his is one day before me. So there's a bit of a sort of link there as well. He's born on a master number day as well, 22. 22 is about being a master builder. That's what he did in his life. He built something which still endures to this day. There's an organisation, you know, now that is run in his name that carries on his work. It's funny, the card I've got is actually peace of mind. I mean, we all need peace of mind at the moment, but I was also really drawn to this beautiful one here. I just think that's absolutely stunning. And I was thinking, I wonder what that is. Machu Picchu, however you say it. Beautiful. A testament to what man built, did, left, was just talking about a master builder. It's a bit like the pyramids, you know, these sacred wonders of the world that are, I'm hearing, indestructible because they were built so well by technology, which we know, we still don't truly understand. And by technology, he ain't talking cranes. He's talking the brain. He's talking the brain and the power of extrasensory ability, okay? There is a lot more to the brain than we realise. He's saying we know 1/10 of what the brain can do. He's also saying we use about 1/10 of our brain. Is that him or is that John Lennon? I think that might be John, actually. I will just say, because John Lennon came through a little bit this morning, and from Friday in the UK, masks are mandatory in shops. So I bought a couple of masks, and I was trying it on today for size. I've actually bought one which is linen, which is a little bit better. In fact, I'm wearing linen. This is all linen. This is linen. So this mask is linen, and it's easier to breathe through it, basically, than cotton, I find. And I was putting it on, and then I could feel John sort of on my shoulder. And straight away I thought, I bet John would have hated wearing a mask, because he was a bit of a rebel, wasn't he? I don't want to get into the whole mask thing, but just hear me out on what John has to say, okay? So my perception was John was going to sort of say, what are you wearing that for? And actually what he said was along the lines of, just come back in, John, so I can feel you again. He said something along the lines of, if you're going to wear one, make a statement, okay? So it's almost like the mask I've got is just plain. It's like a plain duck egg blue. Like my jacket, you know, come on, if we're going to do it, let's do it with a bit of style, guys. So it's duck egg blue, and John was saying write something across it, you know. It's like, because he's saying most, okay, this isn't Dr. Emoto, this is John, you know, swore like, well, I don't know whether he swore like a trooper, but you know, he said it like it was. He's saying what comes out of a lot of people's mouth a lot of the time is rubbish anyway. So covering the mouth, you know, just shut up. A lot of people need to learn to shut up, actually, because what they are talking about is nonsense, okay? So he was taking that angle, which I thought was quite interesting, but he was then saying, so if you're going to wear one, it's almost like there's a word, you know. There's a word that you could put on the mask, and that word could be different for anybody, but it's like make a statement with it. If you're going to do it, make a statement with it. So in all seriousness, that is what he was saying. Right. I knew John was going to weave his way in. It's John Lennon's birthday. I know it's not today. I'm just interested why he's come in today. John Lennon. When was he born? He was born... He's October. He's a Libran. Okay. I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter why. Right, I'm going to pull one other card from Mary. I know I said I wasn't going to. God, we've gone to 38 minutes. Right, one more card from Mary Magdalene. The messenger. The messenger is the messenger. Somebody literally could have a message for you. But I also think it's sort of tied into what John was just saying, which is that we are messengers. So if your mouth is covered, which is your way in which you can communicate, I mean, I know you can still speak behind them, but you know, your mouth is blocked. Find other ways to be able to convey your message. What I was saying earlier about when I was quietening my voice down, being able to understand me via different ways. Messages can come in many different ways. It's not just about the voice. It's about our presence. We can give a very powerful message just via our presence, okay? By holding that energy of love, tolerance. There's a need for tolerance at the moment in our world. You know, the whole mask thing is bringing up a lot of, and I can understand it, you know, a lot of argument on both sides. I understand it, but, you know, we've got to get to tolerance. So maybe holding the energy of that, of love, of strength. So messages come in many different ways. The messenger. Yeah, because, you know, look at that. This woman is coming out of the heart. The message is coming out of the heart. It's not coming out of the lips. It does tie into what John was saying. He was saying it in a slightly more coarse way. Because that's John, you know, he's raw. He's raw. He wasn't meaning to be rude. It's just, it's true, isn't it? A lot of what comes out of people's mouths, you know, I don't want to, God, I just shut up, you know. It's the truth. I don't want to hear it, you know, nagging, whining, moaning, negativity, toxicity, hatred. Do I want to hear any of that? No, I don't. It's all coming out of somebody's mouth. Needs to come, our communication increasingly needs to come from our heart. Heart-to-heart communication is real. Should we just do it? We're going to end the video doing this. So I'm going to send a message from my heart to your heart, okay? And all you have to do is open up to receive it. I'm not going to say anything. We're going to do it for a minute and I'm going to time it, okay? So I've got my timer up there, okay? So I just want to open your heart. I don't even know what the message is either, okay? Because it's like I'm allowing my heart to give your heart a message. I'm turning actually off the brain at this moment. And then I'm going to hear back what you're saying. But I want you to receive what I'm saying, sending to you. Okay. Ready? Did you hear that? Not with your ears, with your heart. Did you feel that? And I can feel what's coming back to me as well as love. I'm hearing the song by Frankie Goes to Hollywood, The Power of Love. Go away and listen to that. It's a beautiful song. Thank You by Alanis Morrisette and The Power of Love, Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Have a good day. Happy birthday, Dr. Masaru Emoto. And thank you to Mary Magdalene for being one of our guides and teachers at this time. Have a good day, guys. Bye for now. Bye.